Hello and welcome. Today we are taking a look at one of my favourite strategy games of all time. Just going to take a quick look at it, and that is Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 2. And it's been in my game library since the game came out, and I must have played it, I don't know, 5-10 times through to completion. It's just that much fun. Wasn't everybody's favourite game when it released back in, I think it was 2010 the game first came out. A lot of people criticised it for its departure from Dawn of War 1, which was a larger scale conflict. You had far more units to control, whereas Dawn of War 2 is much more squad based. You have only a few squads, 4 at most, and each of those only has maybe 3 or 4 guys in it. So I'm going to jump in here, being an absolute boss as all Space Marines are. Start off on the world of Calderis, where there are some nasty greenskins, some nasty orcs running around. I'll give you a first look at the game if you haven't played this before. It's fun, it's different, it's very much like the Company of Heroes games that Relic did a long time ago. And in that you have lots of cover, which is very important. And each of your guys can be equipped with different weapons. As the game goes on, it has sort of an RPG element to it as well. So here we are, start of the game, we only have access to, oh, look at that, absolute boss. Space Marines. We only have access to 1 or 2 squads to begin with, and our mission here is to save that guy. He's got himself trapped. Now I'm just hoping this goes through, because usually this is where the game crashes on me. For some reason it always crashes once here. Don't know, I can re-reload the game and it'll work fine, but for me it always used to crash here. Now, when this game was first released, it ran with Games for Windows Live, that hideous piece of software. But in recent days, or in recent months I should say, it's been converted over to work with Steam more fully. So we should be okay. Right, time to move our guys up. As you can see, much larger focus, a lot more detail on each of our guys here. I can move them up, there we go. Okay, let's get our folks moving up. We're going to move our tactical marines into this cover and progress forward with our sergeant into melee. Oops, he got knocked over, knocked back, his health's ticking down quite nastily there, but we're okay for now. I'm going to activate his charge, because each unit in the game has some kind of special ability that marks it out above the others. So for some, like our sergeant, it'll be a charge. For others, like our tactical squad here, down the bottom, it'll be grenades. Oh, whiffed that grenade a little bit, never mind. Doesn't matter. Just don't really want our tactical marines in melee combat because they excel at range combat. Love the detail of this game. Bits and pieces of orc flying everywhere. Beautiful. And for a 5-year-old game it still looks pretty good, I think. As you can see, every time I'm moving up into this cover. You can see I've got these small dots representing different colours. Green is heavy cover, yellow is soft cover, and if I don't have a dot, I get no cover. I'm going to move our guys in to relieve these poor sods who are getting flanked. Throw a grenade into that bot, shall we? If we can. There we go. Away goes a grenade, and boom! Lots of dead orcs. And we're going to charge with our boss into the middle there, and keep moving forward with our tactical marines. Get into this cover behind here as we relieve our captain, who is doing a wonderful job there by not looking at anything. Our health is going a little bit low, so I'm just going to use one of my war gear pieces, my stimulant kit, which is like a health pack. You see that goes automatically onto a cooldown. And you can see that this little bar here, we get experience. And as your guys level up, they become even more badass. And they can access new pieces of equipment, new skills, and look at that. As if on cue, a new piece of war gear's just dropped. After the mission's finished, I'll get a screen where I'm able to tinker around with my squads and equip them with different pieces of equipment. And also give them different skills. So you can go sort of down a very melee-oriented route, close combat route, or a more blasty, shoot everything in the face route. And most of the missions presented in this sort of fashion. You get these conversations going on in the top left-hand corner, where you're being instructed to do your Space Marine duty and kill various aliens. Starting out with the orcs, these green-skinned brutes. And other than that, it's much like any other RTS. You don't have a base. You deploy with 4 squads at most, and that's it. You have to make do for the entire level with just that selection of troops. Which is a pretty awesome idea. In my opinion, anyway. I like these kind of small squad-based games, as you might have noticed with my playthrough of Space Hulk Ascension. Which, if you haven't already watched, I'd advise going and having a look at it. It's a pretty fun game, that one. Let's keep moving up. Again, you kind of get the feeling with this game that you are the baddest bunch of Space Marines in the universe. Relic did a wonderful job, both in this and in their third-person action game Space Marine, of really capturing the feel of the Space Marines and just how dangerous they are in squads and individually. I think that's something that's often overlooked in games. You end up feeling quite weak, and things like Gears of War, you feel like a bit of a pansy sometimes with how quickly you can be killed. But in this game, each of your guys feels like a genetically engineered super soldier would. He can take a hell of a beating before being put down. Oops, going a bit low on health, just saying that. I wouldn't have been very good with it. And it shows. And it just really captures the feel of the Warhammer 40,000 universe through that. Oops, there we go. That's why you don't stand in a garrison, guys, because I'll throw a grenade at it and kill you all dead. Now, to finish off this first mission, we have to seal up this entrance, which we can do with another grenade. In it goes. Boom! And dynamic terrain. Well, not really dynamic terrain, but animated terrain, perhaps we should say. And there we go. That's the first level of this game done. Each of these missions can usually be completed in 10 to 15 minutes for the most part, which keeps it nice and short. So it's an ideal game to just dip into quickly every now and again. There we go. Mission complete, and we get another piece of equipment. So let's just have a look at this here. We've got the name, tells us that it's a level 2 chainsword, which does 18.8 damage. Also gives us a damage versus a breakdown, which each mob that you come up against, each enemy, has different types of armour. From infantry, which is the lightest armour you can get, through to heavy infantry vehicles and buildings. And your weapons will do various amounts of damage depending on what you're hitting. A chainsword is fantastic against infantry, but you wouldn't want to take it up against a tank, because it would only deal 10% of its damage. Whereas a las cannon, which is one of the heavier weapons you can get later in the game, might do 100 or more % of its damage. It might get bonus damage against tanks, but be pretty useless against infantry. And you can also see that some of these weapons here have a bonus of some kind. This one has plus 10 melee damage. Let's continue though. Here you go, we can see both of these guys leveled up. They're level 2 now. their health's increased, their range damage is increased, melee and energy, which is what powers your abilities. Let's continue through. There's our spaceship. Looks pretty cool. And here's the map overview. Now, as the game progresses, it splits up and you're able to go to different planets. We might be able to see that in this quick play, if I can get through these quickly enough. Let's go to the level up screen, and here we go. You can see our commander, his current abilities, you can see his weapons, and his various other pieces of equipment. And down here we have his skills. You can see this is his stamina, his health, and every now and again you get new abilities. And that's the same for his range combat, his melee combat, and even his energy, which will give you abilities to inspire your friends, etc. Now every time you level up, you get 2 points. I think that the level cap is level 20. I can't remember exactly, it's been a long time since I've played this, but I'm pretty sure the level cap's level 20. So you've got to ration out where you put your points. Now, for this playthrough, I think for this quick play I'm gonna go melee. That's generally the best one for the captain. So I'm going to increase his health a little bit. Actually, we're going to dump 2 points and get the battle cry ability. We're going to unlock that. There we go. We've unlocked a new special ability for him. So for a limited time, every time he attacks, it'll be a special attack, which in this game means that you knock your opponent down. And that's a very useful ability, actually. And we're going to equip him with a chainsword. And just a second. You can see his melee damage here, 21, and his melee skill, which I'll go through in a minute, is 17. So if I dump this in here, see, it's gone up to 27. His melee skill hasn't changed, but that's okay. Now, if he fights another mob, if his melee skill is higher than theirs, he has a chance to knock them down passively, which I can then make active by using his battle cry ability. And as you might imagine, a mob that's knocked over cannot retaliate, cannot fight, and it takes them a few seconds to get back up. Now here we go, here's Quiarcus, he's a tactical marine. He becomes quite a badass, he can take a lot of damage. So what we're going to do with this one, I think we'll go close combat with him as well, but we're going to put 1 point into each and slowly level him up. Now his next ability would be Taunt, which is quite handy because you can pull enemies off of your friends to attack him, and then you can use his Tactical Advance, which allows him to take a little bit more damage. But for now, we're going to give him the Improved Bolter, which does a little bit more damage and gives him an improved defensive bonus in cover. You can see his range damage currently is 9.3. Slip this in, it goes up to 11.8. And that's all we can do for now. And look, we're on the second day of our campaign. You get a few drops each day that you can perform, and that can be altered by other bits and pieces later, like these towers. If I can capture enough communications towers or factories, I think it's factories actually, then I can actually perform more drops a day, which is quite handy. So here we go. Taking over Hamlet outside Argus, we've got to go and kick some orc backside. I'm going to listen to him, we're just going to keep on going. The loading is a little bit longer than is comfortable sometimes, especially for a game of its age, but it's never really obnoxious. So here we go, you can see being introduced to another squad here and another mechanic. We've got our scouts in the background, and they're lightly armoured. They're not quite Space Marines yet. They're what they call initiates. If they survive enough battles, then eventually they will be given the big armour and they will become Space Marines proper. But for now, they're just Space Marines in training. But they take on lighter duties. So for instance, we have the ability to infiltrate, to hide, which does drain our energy over time. We have a demolition charge, useful for blowing up buildings, and we can also make suppressive fire. Now that ability will change depending upon which weapon he activates. So I'm going to move our tactical squad up first into this cover here, then our scouts into the heavier cover because their armour is worse, while our captain, sorry, makes a beeline for the enemy and takes them out in melee. Now he's destroyed our cover there, so we're going to have to move our tactical marines forward and continue fighting the good fight. Which, as you can see, the minute he ties that squad up in melee, it has to start trying to move because it can't fight in ranged and melee simultaneously. And oh, a sync kill. You get some pretty cool animations in this game as well. There we go. Right, now, you can see we have a friend here who's down. Here's another squad, and we can revive him. But if we try, we can see in this building we have some orcs garrisoned. You just see their heads sticking out the windows there with those big guns. They'll blast us to pieces if we try. So what we're going to do, we're going to infiltrate our scout, and he can't be seen at the moment, so we're going to run him across here, just out of their line of sight, because line of sight is true line of sight in this game. Deactivate that, going to activate his demolition charge, and we're going to lob it at the building. And we get a short timer. 3, 2, 1, and boom! If you're in a building when it collapses, you are dead. That simple. And that counts for you as well. If any of your squads are in a building when it collapses, you will die instantly. And you'll be left, like this guy, on the floor to be reinforced. And you can see, he's got, down the bottom, 1 of 3. And you can see on the pips on the side there, we're told as well, he only has 1 of 3 squad members. Now I'm capturing this little relay beacon with my tactical squad, and when I move this fellow up, it will start to reinforce him. He'll get 2 extra marines shortly. There's 1, and where's the other one? Takes a little bit of time, and there we go. And that's pretty much the only way you can get reinforcements in this game, is from these little beacons. So you have to be careful as you're advancing. Now this chap is a heavy. He carries a big gun. If you can zoom in, you'll see his squad is equipped with these massive 2-handed heavy bolters. So they require time to set up. And you can see we get a firing arc here, just right clicking and holding. We can decide which way they set up. And once they're set up, they need to tear down their weapons, take them down, before they can move and fire again. And that takes a few seconds usually. So we're going to move everybody up to this barricade, because it looks convenient, and our captain is going to go off and fight those orcs. See, it took him a few seconds, and he's going to start firing. Once these orcs get in range, is he? We have to move our other squads back to pull the orcs into the... There we go. And now we see another mechanic. These guys are suppressed. They're moving slower, they're firing slower, and they're doing less damage because they're under such heavy fire. So again, it's a game about fire arcs, a bit like Space Hulk Ascension. You have to make sure that you've got your weapons facing in the right direction at the right time. And we've got to drive the orcs from this village, which we're going to do quite easily because these guys are sissies. We're going to move our heavy up to here. Because look, off they go. They're all running away already. Let's move our scouts to there and our captain to here. And there we go. We can see another, just in the fog of war there, got another group of orcs. Let me just go see. There we go. They're set up. And the orcs aren't approaching. Sometimes this happens. Oh, there they go. Game doesn't quite trigger what it was meant to trigger. There you go, it takes a few seconds to suppress them. We're going to actually increase that by going into heavy fire mode. You can see he's firing more heavily, which means he's doing increased output of range damage. Yeah, that was a horrible sentence, wasn't it? Oops, heal our captain there. And actually we're going to send him in, I think. There we go. Because he was getting shot down by too many people. We're going to heal him again by the looks of it. His health is flying down at the moment, isn't it? Yep, we'll heal him again, and you can see that heals everybody around him as well. He's doing a pretty good job there of keeping them out of the fight. Now that the main fire power's died down, we can move everybody up. What I was meaning to say is that his ability increases his ranged damage output. Don't quite know I had such a failure in my ability to speak then, but never mind. Right, we're going to move forward. Now you might have noticed that each time I use this ability, the stimulant kit, this counter goes down. That's because it's a physical item, it's an object that needs to be used, and it's consumed when it's used. So, we need to replenish it, which you can do by shooting those little crates, and they drop bits and pieces that you can pick up and reuse. So we're going to set up in this area, and pick up another one, there we go, and you can see it replenishes everybody's equipment. Right, let's see. Got some more orcs coming. They're going to be firing up here. Our heavies aren't opening fire for some reason. There we go, now they're suppressed. We've got a lob of grenade around here, which should be... a nicely timed grenade. Oh, they're throwing a grenade of their own. It's the enemy cannon, and I've got a few seconds to move my guys out of the way. Oof, that was quite a nasty explosion actually, that did quite a lot of damage. Going to activate his ability to take more damage. Going to retreat our scouts back to this wall, and we're going to bring in our sergeant, and we're going to activate War Cry. You can see every time he's hitting, he's knocking somebody over. Meantime, our poor scouts there are getting hurt. I'm going to cause him to fall back as well, while we send our sergeant in a bit more. His health up. There we go. And another one, and another one. And we might actually have to retreat our captain. His health doing... he's doing okay. He's doing okay. He's not doing okay. There we go. Increase his health. Activate Battle Cry again. And look at that. Every strike he's knocking over loads of guys. Which is the use of one of those skills there. There we go. And we've got another piece of equipment. We're going to retreat him back to this relay beacon here. Let's see if it gives us a grading this time. Normally after you complete a mission, and these are the training missions, so you won't get this flying up, you're graded on how you've done, according to your speed, how much damage you did, how many mobs you killed, how much damage you took, and that will determine how much experience your people get as well. So there we go. You know what, I said this was going to be a quick play, but I think I'm going to convert this into a full on Let's Play. I do like this game, I enjoy it a lot, and there's a lot to see here. It's hard to cover it all in one 20-minute video, so we're going to go full bore and we're going to do a complete playthrough of it. Let's have a look then. With that in mind, we better pay more attention to how we level these guys up. So we've got Cyrus here, he's our scout sergeant. You can see these guys aren't quite as big or heavily armoured as their Space Marine brothers. Now, specialist ammunition, high powered shot for sniper rifles, that's quite handy. Ability to use flamers and mark target. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to increase his energy and get improved infiltration to begin with. So I'm going to move up this way, and then we'll work on getting his weapons upgraded. 3% accuracy, these are equipment, just accessories that can go in these slots here. 3% accuracy, would rather give that to somebody who does range damage. So let's have a look. Avitus here, for instance. Advanced optics, that gives him extended range, which is kind of cool. Sprint. Terminator honours later on. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Terminator armour does feature in this game. Not very heavily, but it does make an appearance. So we're going to work towards these two. increases health, and increases range damage. And what's his range damage? 37.4. If I increase his accuracy, no, it hasn't adjusted it yet. I believe accuracy does go some way into altering their range damage over time. Got some improved power armor. We had better give that to our captain, our force commander. So his armor rating goes from 2 to 5, and you can see his armor does actually change, I think. Yes. So have a look at him. He's normal. Dump this armor on him, and he's got some purity seals with his oaths of the moment on it. There's some other bits and pieces. Right, okay, so he's at level 2 now. Now we have a choice. Who do we go for first? Sky Killer or Gut Wrencher? So, I can do one after the other, but it does take time. So we're going to have a look. I'm going to go after Sky Killer first, I think. So that will give us Scout Armor, or Gut Wrencher will give us the improved Heavy Bolter. You know what, we're going to go after Gut Wrencher then. We're going to get the improved Heavy Bolter for Avitus. So the Orcs are making a nuisance in Tangier High Pass, and they're being riled up by somebody, so we're going to go and we are going to kick their backsides and see what's going on. He's a dour fellow, Avitus. He's not the sort of person you want to take to the pub, because he will be sour so-and-so all the time. As I said, load times aren't horrific, but sometimes, for no apparent reason, they decide they're going to take a long time. Come on, guys. Don't know if that's perhaps my computer's doing something in the background. Don't think it is. Oh, there we go. There we go, okay. I kind of quite like these cutscenes. Maybe I'd prefer it if they were full motion video, you know, if they were fully done 3D renders or something. But I think they're a stylish way of continuing the story. Here we go. Oops. Thank you, a bit there. Obviously my computer's doing something in the background. I wish I knew what it was, because the game doesn't use that much in the way of resources. There's our flyby. I'm going to be dropped in via assault pod. What's made me wonder, why do Space Marines use these things? For this kind of mission anyway. Surely just coming down via Thunderhawk, which is kind of like a big flying transport, would be more sensible than dropping people into the Earth like this. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's start deploying our guys, shall we? We're going to deploy our heavies here. Our attacks are going to go over here. And our scouts are going to move. Our scouts will move up to support our heavies. And yeah, there we go. Thought we might have that somehow. Ooh, bit of lag there. Don't know quite what's going on. Sorry for that, guys. Don't know quite what's causing that. Let's put some heavier firepower down. Now they're in cover, so as you can see, we're not having as much effect. So we're going to infiltrate our scouts. Then we go lob. Oh, we lost the scout model. He's going to back off. Boom! And there we go. Now we're going to move him back here to... With any luck, can he get reinforcements from the drop pod? Yes, he can. There we go. Okay, now you can see we've got these two buildings on the corners of the map. We've got a chapel and a communications. We're going to go up and get the communications first. So we're going to slowly make our way up here. Let's cover our flank, our approach there. Keep our scouts in the back because they do get hurt rather easily. We're going to keep our captain, our force commander back here. You have to keep an eye on your troops because they do sometimes decide, hey, you know what guys, we're not going to set up where you told us to. There's another group of orcs. In goes our force commander. There we go. Slay the green skin filth. And let's start pushing up again. Go push forward with our attacks. Put our sergeant in a bit of cover and pull him back. Draw the orcs into our firing lines. Cover in this game is directional as well. So if the orcs are back here firing at me, I don't actually get any cover. Beauty of ranged combat. There we go. It's a beautiful thing to behold. Space Marine gun line. Let's put all these guys up. Oops, our force commander got a bit hurt there, I didn't notice that. Keep him in the background for a few minutes, I guess. Let's infiltrate our scouts and just have a look, see what's going on up ahead. A whole bunch of orcs there. I wonder if we can throw a charge if they'll notice. And then get them out of there. 4, 3, 2, 1. They did notice and they got out of it. Okay. But they did fall then back into our guns. So, all's well that ends well. Let's move our other chaps up. Attack squad up. Quiarcus. He's a bit of a boss, to be honest. Let's move our force command around to get these guys and stop them from firing as well. There we go. He's still trying to run because he's still being engaged in melee. Boom! Through the wall. And dead. That's what you get. Set up to cover this bridge. Bring Quiarcus over here, our scouts in the background here, and our force commander in the background as well. Let's just set up nice and easily here. There we go. Maybe lob a grenade over here. Quiarcus, there we go. Boom! And another dead orc. What's that? Support item increase, good. Okay, so I'm going to set up our heavy bolt in the background. There, and our scouts here. Later on I'll give the scouts a sniper rifle. Oh, there's Martellus, our tech marine. It's kind of like a space mechanic, I suppose. And he's going to help us with bits and pieces of technology. His health's flying down again, our force commander. He's going to have to activate there. Our cover's gone from our... activate their fortify ability, their tactical advance. Oops, and our force commander went down. I wasn't paying attention. So, he went down, but that's okay because we can bring him back up in a minute. And they're going to have to pull back as well. Actually, we're going to activate their retreat ability. So they fall back full bore. I'm going to use... So Quiarcus now will have run back to the drop pod, and then we'll bring him back up in a minute. Oops, how did our scouts get tagged from back there? So Quiarcus, are you back in operation yet? Still 2 of 4, he's healing 3 of 4. And 4 of 4 in a sec. There we go. So we're going to bring him back up. Let's just infiltrate and see what we're dealing with up here. It has been a long time since I played this game, so I am a little bit rusty. Hence me losing my commander there. Okay. Now my force commander's dead, but if I can get my scouts to him, they'll put him back on his feet. There's a little timer there. And back up he gets. Now, you can only really lose this game or lose a mission, if all 4 of your squads are incapacitated, if they all go down. Otherwise, you can just keep moving and healing your chaps. So I'm going to put that guy up here, our scouts back there, and our force commander, get him moving forward again. I'm going to try and capture this, which will give me bonuses in the overmap. There we go. He's caught out in the open and he'll die in quick order. Keep moving, keep changing our fields of cover and fields of fire. Go on, get that crate for me. No? You're gonna miss? Okay. You get that and our scouts will get the crate. There we go. So we're going to capture this communications relay. And then on the map, we're going to trace across to here, then up to here, then up to here, then up into the main point. And you see we've got a new piece of war gear here. And they're dropping some generators in, and this will also acts as a reinforcement point now. So if I have to retreat, they'll retreat to here to get healed up. Now let's keep moving forward. Oops, a daisy. Hit the W key by accident there. Let's see if we can bait out these storm boys. Yes, we can. Orcs the jump jets. There we go, just save that scout there. And they're dead. Okay. Let's keep moving forward up to this barbed wire. Keep our attacks in cover there. Later on there we'll get different pieces of war gear. Let's infiltrate our scouts again and just have a quick check. See what's going up ahead. Going on up ahead even. Some orcs there. Let's dump these guys in cover. See if we can entice these orcs down, shall we? You see, his energy ran out, so he failed. His infiltration gave up. You can see, when they're out of cover, these orcs don't have a hope against the Space Marines. I do love this. They do a very good job of animating the game and bringing the units to life. Relic. Makes me wonder if they got the Dawn of War 3 license still after THQ collapsed, which was a shame. They ran out of money. They made a few bets on pieces of software that didn't pan out. The end result being that we don't have Dawn of War 3 when perhaps we should have Dawn of War 3 by now. They're now owned by Sega, Relic, so I don't know what's going to happen. As far as I know, they've got the license to do, Sega have got the license to do a Warhammer game, which is the fantasy version of 40k, which was actually first, I believe. So there's hope. They're still working with Games Workshop, so with any luck, Relic will be given a license to do a 40k game again. But you never know. Just infiltrate these guys, even though they don't actually get hidden. Activate battle cry here. Oh, you fine. Got knocked off the cap. Even though they're not hidden, by activating their infiltration, they do take less range damage, which is quite handy. because otherwise they would all be dead by now. There we go, he's captured the point, and he's going to start reinforcing. Well, our sergeant, oops, a daisy, our sergeant's going to back away from that building. He can't do much to a building. However, our scouts infiltrated. No, I don't have enough energy to do that just yet. I'm going to infiltrate them in a sec and lob a demolition charge in that building. Of course, with this game, you're rewarded for more kills because you get more XP, which gives you more abilities. So it really does behoove you to kill as much as you possibly can. I'm going to infiltrate now. Throw our satchel charge, then back out. Completely back out. Charge in with this chap, with our commander. Bring up our tactical marines in support, because our force commander is a bit of a boss in melee. But he's not indestructible, and this chap could cause some problems, so we're going to keep moving forward. Don't move everybody forward this time. Sync kill again. Melee sync kills look awesome in this game. And it's a carryover from the original Dawn of War, which, as I said, was a more large-scale game. You controlled units of 10 men each and things like that. And some of the sync kills your commanders could get on bigger mobs, bigger enemies was quite impressive. You'd have a Space Marine Force commander leaping all over this giant demon and smashing his skull in with a huge hammer, which is always fun to see. Who doesn't like to see that, eh? So we're going to continue slaughtering our enemy. Let's keep moving up, infiltrate them again, and rinse and repeat with the demolition charge, because why the heck not? There we go. Yep, bad time to come around the corner, dude. Move these chaps in here, and our captain around this side as well. And caught out in the open again. Barreled over by my sergeant. They don't really stand much of a chance. Now he's running away, I don't know if we're going to get him. 56. Nah, he's going to peg off. Run off. Coward. Not that I really blame him. He was grossly outnumbered there. So that's what our scouts are useful for. Just sneaking forward, blowing buildings up. Don't really want them in a big firefight because they will get slaughtered. We're going to move up with our scouts and do exactly as they say. Scout. That's what they're there for. Got another building there. See if we can lob another demolition charge and then pull back once he's deployed it. Does reveal him temporarily, but once it's away, you don't have to worry about it. 2, 1, boom! And another orc goes down. Let's move up again. Actually, we're going to deploy the heavies in this direction. Now you see their line of fire is blocked. They can't see around that, and they're going after the scouts, bizarrely enough. I'm going to use a grenade here just to dislodge these guys because I can't be bothered to take a long time to get rid of them. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Got another group of, yeah, there they are, there they go. See, they knock down my troops on impact, but they're still no match for a Space Marine. Because they are, after all, orcs. They don't have the training, they might have the physical strength, but they do not have the training to go toe-to-toe with the Emperor's finest. Even if that particular member of the Emperor's finest decides that the side of the wall with the guns shooting at him is the safest. There we go. Oh, another piece of equipment, which is another reason why it's a good idea to just kill everything you possibly can on these maps. You never know who's going to drop a new piece of war gear for you. There's another orc. Send our sergeant in. Requires more energy. Okay, 4, 2. We're going to keep our devastators up here. Give our captain some more health in a sec because he's starting to get a bit low. Let's see how he does though. With the destroyer, move our scouts back. Heal up our squads. Our heavy's now suppressing those guys. Lob a grenade in there because they're seemingly behind heavy cover. I don't see what heavy cover they're behind. That will get rid of them nicely. Okay, let's keep moving up. Now, here we have another building that I could capture, but you can only capture one building per map run. So I'm not able to capture that one. Oops, they're dislodging my tacticals, so I'm going to activate their toughen ability, their tactical advance, and heal them up a bit. And we're going to send our sergeant in here to knock over as much as we can. Activate heavy fire to get rid of these orcs. Everybody focusing the same target. How did Quiarcus do? He lost one guy. Okay, not too bad. He was quite out in the open there. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. You can see our force commander is pretty useless at ranged combat at the moment. And that's fine, because I don't really intend for him to be a ranged combatant. We're going to make him melee. And he's going to be a boss once he gets a jump pack. And our scouts are ever so useful doing that kind of thing. Okay, another one. And another bit, there we go. Fully equipped there. Let's bring our tanks up and our devastators, our force commander and our scouts. Might have to lob a grenade here. Right there. That looks beautiful. Boom! Just the way you want to place it. And you can see these guys are firing in bursts. That's because each weapon has ammunition modelled for it, so they have to fire and then wait a few seconds to reload. Which is why suppression is quite handy, because suppression will actually slow down the enemy from reloading, which means that their gross fire output drops and all sorts of other fun stuff. We're going to use Battle Cry because it inspires everybody, which is kind of handy, the sort of thing you want. And our captain's health, our force commander's health, let's pull him back out of the way. That's it, use train to block their line of sight, drag them into our heavy guns, and if they're out in the open, they're in trouble. You can see his health slowly will start to regenerate once he's considered to be out of combat. Which, it's making a liar of me. Why isn't your health regenerating, sir? It should be. Interesting. Curious. That's very odd. Their health should be regenerating. His won't because he's lost too many men. But in general, their health should be regenerating. Never mind. Maybe I'm getting confused with the later games. Maybe that's only a feature that came in later on. because this game did have a couple of sequels. It had the Chaos Rising expansion pack, which is pretty awesome, and it had the Retribution, which was kind of a standalone game, but it was an interesting game with a lot of flaws, I think. I'll put it that way. It had a lot of good going for it, but it also had a lot of flaws. Not least of which it was pretty much impossible to lose. No matter which difficulty level you played at, it was pretty much impossible to lose. Right, there we go. These guys are sorted out. Come on. Come closer, Mr. Orc. How much health do you have left? You're dead. Okay. Let's flank back into this village. Just getting as much XP and chances for upgrades as we can. Once we finish this mission, I'll call it a day for the first video anyway. Try and keep these to around about an hour each, I think. As much as we can anyway. And as we start to level up, the videos will start to get quicker as well anyway, just because our guys will be able to kill the orcs that much faster. There we go. Oops, a daisy. Just a sec, guys. We have to come back for those. 4D. Yeah, don't get distracted while you're approaching enemies. 3, 2, 1. We'll have to go back for that group in a second. Slaughter those orcs though. Don't come out of cover, mate. That's not a good idea. Okay. Let's just quickly go back and deal with these guys. There we go. Don't know how I missed them on the first run through. Curious. Come on, orcs. Okay. Position them forward. Quick battle cry again. Boom. You see the commander will be taken down quite quickly if you let him get mobbed by orcs. Oh, initiates lessons of strength. And these weapons are randomly generated. You do see some of them time and time again, but as they appear it'll be different. Oh, there you go, see his health's climbing back up again this time. I wonder why it wasn't last time. Must have been a mob that was considered to still be in combat with him, I guess. And that can happen sometimes, just those curious little quirks of game lore, game rules. So we're going to just take this relay beacon, sweep round and up into this one, and then up to the boss. Right, and yes, there are bosses in this game. Which is kind of a cool notion. We're going to demolition charge this building because there's a whole mess of orcs in there by the looks of it. Okay. Sort out those guys with our sergeant, our force commander rather, who's going to have to take a med pack, except for I can't. Why can I not take a med pack? There we go. Okay. Must have been short on energy or something, or knocked down. Another reason to knock down your enemies. A knocked down enemy cannot use abilities. Let's just capture these bits and pieces. Let's lob a grenade on that guy. Don't want him setting up because he's a heavy. There we go. Set up our own heavies and go into a heavy firepower mode. It's called focus fire. That's right, focus fire. And see, their numbers should start dropping. They're distributing that firepower awfully evenly here. 60, and there it goes, peeling it off there. And down he goes. Right, Let's retreat these guys back to the relay beacon, which has been captured by our scouts. And there's no penalty to retreating. They just move very, very quickly and get a ranged fire defense bonus. Better to retreat than to lose your men. Lose a squad, there we go. Set these guys up. And keep our scouts at the back again. Quiarcus being a boss. There we go. Come some orcs. Actually, we're going to fake us this way because I had them set up slightly incorrectly there. Oh, I do love it when they gather up on those corners. Nice lob of the grenade, and down they go. Let's see if we can get... Can our blokes lob this satchel charge from here? Ah, okay. Got trapped on the terrain. But somehow still... Okay, that was an animation bug. It cleared the terrain, but the model must have clipped incorrectly. But it did destroy that building, which is good. So we're going to move our Devastators up here, our attacks are going to look here, Force Commanders here, and our scouts will stay at the back. Focus fire with Avitus. Let's lob another grenade with Quiarcus. Oh, we don't need to now, but never mind, it's done. Quiarcus can go help there. Our scouts are going to move up here. And they have the ability to suppress as well if I wanted to. So I could actually do this and cause them to be suppressed. It's kind of handy. Suppression on demand is a very useful ability in this game. See him going crazy with that bolter there. Just emptying his clip into them. And there's another big old gaggle of Terminators, of orcs there. So let's send our Force Commander up and our tanks. Send in our Force Commander there. There we go. Give me a boss while the scouts capture target here. We're going to infiltrate them so they get that ranged defensive bonus. Our heavies aren't doing anything, they're facing the wrong way, that's why. We can move up tactical marines. So they get their cover bonus while they've got those blue circles around them. There we go. Oh, now you decide to join the fight. Avitus. Disable that. No point losing power over it, energy. There we go. 1 and 2. Right. Now, here we go. Into one of the boss fights. It's kind of curious for a tactical game like this to have a boss fight, but it's something that defined the series from this point onwards. Oh, look. Some more orcs to kill. Let's just lob a grenade on them. I think that's the easiest way of doing it. Oops, better get our guy out because grenades will do friendly fire. There we go. Yes, where was I? Oh yes. Bosses did kind of define the series and gave an interesting change to strategy games, I suppose. I can't think of many that have boss battles in them, if any. And they do require different tactics to get past, and different approaches. And each boss will be a little bit different, they'll have their own unique attacks. There we go. So we're going to trigger the boss fight by sending forward our Force Commander. Here we go, Gut Wrencher. So there he is. We're going to send our Force Commander in. I'm going to split our guys up, which is important for these fights. There he goes, he's lobbing some grenades. using up as many abilities as we can here. You can see his health bar at the top there going down. You've got to be careful because each one will have a different set of abilities. There we go. Need to move our tactical marines out of the way there. Use a health kit because our force commander is getting a little bit low on health. Oops. Use another health kit actually. Luckily he seems to be focusing his attentions on our sergeant, on our tactical marines for now. Going to have to shoot up some of these with our scouts though. There we go. Here's another health kit. Now who is he going to attack? Oh no, he's attacking our force commander, so we better get out of there. Those grenades do hurt when they hit. Can we suppress him? I don't know. Let's use our focus fire again. Let's use a health pack. Uh-oh, we better move our guys out the way because that will hurt. Ouch! There we go, see. Didn't quite move my blokes in time. Oops-a-daisy. Starting to make mistakes. Why is he focusing my scouts is the question. Let's activate their stealth, infiltration, and try and get out of here. With any luck, he's a detector, which is kind of annoying. Okay, maybe they can hide out the way. There we go. And then they can circle back around and wake up our... Oops-a-daisy. Run, 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 run. Oof, that was close. No, he's still going to go after our... Oops-a-daisy. We have to flee with those guys. And we go flee with our captain as well. Just get them out of there. Move back with our tactical marines. We're going to keep the fight going with our tanks, just while everybody else gets their health back up. Activate their damage reduction. Still, that guy got absolutely gibbed. Okay. Bring back our other squads. Get out the way. Keep moving, keep moving. They're going to have to get out of there. They took a direct hit there. Get out the way, force commander. Focus fire again, and we should have this guy now. Should go down. Yep, there he goes. Mantle of the Great Father. Really? Really? His ability goes off even though he's dead? That's a bit cheap. That's a bit cheap. But never mind. We beat the Orc. That's the main thing. Let's bring everybody back to the centre there. That last hit was a bit cheap, I think. Never mind. Okay, so we got the improved heavy bolt and we got a whole host of other bits and pieces. And here we go. So, we've got Fury, Resilience. Two of my squads stayed conscious, so I did really bad there, and my speed was quite bad as well. At the moment, that doesn't make a difference, but later on you'll get two little notches here and about here. And if you can get your score to those, you get extra deployments. So you get, I think incorrectly at the beginning I said you get 2 deployments. Usually you actually only get 1, and then if you do well enough you can unlock the second and then the third deployment, depending on how many factories you have. Let's see, we got lots and lots of armor. We'll have a look at those, and everybody leveled up. Fun times. So we'll just do this quickly, and then we'll call it a day for this video. It was only meant to be a quick play, but it's turned into a full playthrough. Because I like this game. It's good fun. I'd recommend it heartily to anybody who enjoys strategy games or likes the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It's got a lot going for it. Some RPG elements, some good strategy elements, an okay story. A little bit predictable, I think, in places. But then, which stories aren't, eh? These days with computer games. It's very rare that you get a good twist in them. Oh, wow, this load time. What is happening? It shouldn't be this high. I'm pretty certain. Must be something going on in the background with my computer. I'll try and get this sorted for next time, because nobody wants to sit looking at a load screen. Or maybe I should go through and just fast forward them in the videos when I upload them. That might take a lot of time and effort to do. We'll see. Wow. There we go. Good lord. Okay, let's have a look. So we've got 2 new armours that our Force Commander can wear. Raven Mantle, armour 10 plus 4% range damage, or the Mantle of the Great Father, armour 12, more health and more energy. Well, and this one can only be used by the Force Commander, so I think that's a pretty good indication of which one we should be equipping. Dump that on him, and there we go. Look again, he's modified again. He's got that glowing gem on his chest. The old Mark, what's that? Mark 6 power armor shoulder pad with the bumps on it. Looking pretty boss there. Let's increase his health a bit more. 180. Let's increase his melee damage. His melee skill's gone up as well, which is good. And we've got Signum, which we'll have a look at in a minute. That's kind of like an artillery ability, which you can use a limited number of times per mission. Okay, Quiarcus. We'll give you Taunt, which is kind of handy. And we'll upgrade your close combat again. And then when we get the ability, we'll give him a close combat weapon. And we're going to give this guy improved power armor, because really we want to give that range damage bonus to our heavy. He's the one who'll make the best use of it. So here he is. He's got the improved heavy bolter, but we've also got Purge of Victory Bay, which is an even better one. Reloads less frequently, more damage, but he's not high enough level. He needs to be level 4. So another 100 XP. For now he can use that. Give him that armor. There we go. It's all shiny and new. Then increase his optics there. And increase his health, which is always useful. And he'll gain the sprint ability later, which is even more handy. Lets him run around and become immune to knockback, which for a setup team is a pretty handy ability. Combat shotguns, they're pretty handy, they're good weapons. We'll give him the combat shotgun for now. He doesn't have access to anything else. There we go, increase, so while he's standing still, his energy won't decrease while he's infiltrated. And we're going to increase that even further. Eventually he'll get the ability to become completely silent, or use virtually no energy when infiltrated. Which is what we're aiming for, this ability and this ability. Because instant revival, really useful if your guys get taken down, and just the ability to stay in infiltration for so long. Okay guys, that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. I'd hardly recommend you to go and buy this on Steam. Usually floats around the $20 mark, I think. Quite a good buy, and quite often it goes on sale as well, so keep an eye out for it. If you've got any comments, want to tell me anything about the video or anything else, you know where to leave those, and I will see you all again next time. Bye bye for now.